Every 50 days played there is a milestone, and for the 400 days played milestone you will get your hands on Primed Vigor. This mod does look like it's going to be quite promising, depending on obviously what frames you put it on. For something like Nidus that's dancing around in the background there, it's going to be pretty useless because it has shield capacity. The health side of it will be useful, the shield won't. Now for the daily login rewards, or the days played reward as it was renamed 400 days ago, you can miss a day or two. You can go a month without playing and then continue from whatever the days played was when you last logged in. It continues from there. It is quite literally days played, not days in a row. Considering normal Vigor goes to plus 120% health and plus 120% shields, this is an extra 100% for health and shields, meaning survivability could be really good with this mod, but it is insanely expensive to max these things out. Just to kind of demonstrate this, if you do put something like Vigor, I'm trying to remember, there it is, onto Nidus, it does add quite a bit of health, taking us max to 1290 from the 1110 it is before. Now, you can't have both Primed Vigor and normal Vigor on there, which is probably for the best, because that would be overkill. But you can just have Vigor in there, giving him an extra 330 health over just running with normal Vitality. Okay, the shield side of it is pretty much going to waste, but that is still a huge increase in health. Same can go for Anaris as another example. Doesn't really have shields, but if you do throw Vigor in there, the health, 5,280 health, is not a small amount. But then taking that up to 5,830, he has an extra 1,000 health. But again, the shield side of it is unfortunately going to waste. Where this really comes into play is with things like Rhino Prime. If you throw a normal Vigor on there, increases the shields to almost Frost Prime levels, but also increases health as well. If you swap that for, of course, Prime Vigor, these numbers will go up to pretty insane, unreachable shield levels. Almost unreachable health levels as well. Meaning that most frames, if you can fit this into the builds, are going to be so much harder to kill. They are just going to take so much more damage with this mod. And as I mentioned, Frost Prime, 1294 shields. If you run with Vigor, that's 1505. That is a lot of shields. I used to run Frost with Vigor on to make him more survivable, but it took away from speed and just general usability, so I did take it off. Now Primed Vigor is a thing, on the other hand, I may be tempted on putting this back on, because that's almost 400 extra shields. It does make up for the fact that Frost Prime has never really had a sprint increase, unlike Rhino Prime and Saren Prime, but yeah, that is a huge amount of shields, and it's all down to this mod just being straight up overkill. Weirdly, for this mod, and kind of the saddest thing about it, especially with it being a 400 days logged in reward, so it's gonna be next to impossible to get a hold of, because 400 days is a lot. I've been through almost every single build for all my different frames, and not one of them is still running Vigor anymore. I kind of got rid of it in favour for Armoured Agility because it added armour and sprint speed. Nobody uses it anymore. I'd have no place to put this thing. And that's just kind of sad for it, if I'm honest. Ivara, I don't even think Ivara has it because her build's still messed up from last time I used it. No, I have absolutely nowhere I can actually put this. Even just day-to-day running round builds, I still have Armoured Agility because sprint speed, is just more useful than health and shields. Yes, I'm probably going to play with it and try and fit it in places, but what do you get rid of to fit health and shield mods? It would have been nicer if it was closer to the 440 that Vitality has and the 440 that Redirection do, so you can use the primed Vigor mod by itself instead of having to have Redirection and Vitality in there. But unfortunately, if you do that, it only goes up to 220, so you're still sacrificing health and shields. The only real place I can think of that going is for that weird kind of build. I probably should have fixed that before jumping out of them, where you don't really have space for health and shields. I think Mag has one of those. Okay, it's doing that weird glitch again. Because at least on my Mag anyway, I had her set up for... I don't think I've adjusted it since her rework, not this one anyway. I only have one. I went for shields because that was a bigger number than actually health, and shields recharges, whereas health you have to pick up orbs. Fitting it in the one slot there, if it had have been 440 shields and health, would have been way more useful than just the 220 it unfortunately comes with, because sacrificing 300 shields for the sake of 200 health, though it does have its place, it is going to be useful. Sacrificing things like sprint speed, power strength, duration, range, it's going to have a very, very small place in the game. And as I said earlier, I've basically stopped using Vigor in favour of sprint speed, so I'm going to have to rework a lot of frames to fit this in. Anyway, we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch yous next time.